Good morning, fellow estheticians. Welcome to Shelley Show and Tell. I'm Shelley Hancock, your host. And as always, we have the Shelley Hancock Success Team with us. Today, we're going to talk about one of our newest tools coming very soon called the Skin Energizer. But first, what do I do every Monday morning is I open up one of my books in my library. And today, Jack Canfield jumped off the bookcase for me, the Success Principles. And actually I had like 3 different things like highlighted in here. There's so much in this book. This is very, very old. I bought this many years ago, but I always continue to go back to it. This is in chapter 28 called Clean Up Your Messes and Your Incompletes. Oof, this is for work, right? And our personal lives. And it says, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, what is the significance of a clean desk? Are there areas in your life where you've left uncompleted projects or failed to get closure with people? When you don't complete the past, you can't be free to fully embrace the present. When you start a project or make an agreement or identify a change you need to make, it goes into the present memory bank and takes up what I call an attention unit. We can only pay attention to so many things at a time. Trust me, the older you get, the less you can pay attention to. And each promise, agreement, or item on your to-do list leaves fewer attention units to dedicate to completing present tasks and bringing new opportunities and abundance into your life. And they talk about, I'll just real quickly, the 4 Ds of completion. I'm guessing Jess knows this. She's so good at it. Do it, delegate it, delay it, or dump it. So when a project, a piece of, a document, a piece of paper, something comes across your desk, do you want to do it? And if so, do it right away and get it off your desk. Do you want to delegate it to somebody else? Is it something that's going to take a little more time, so you want to delay it a little bit for a little bit later? Or do you just want to dump it? Is it something that really doesn't need your attention and just get it off that attention unit? I actually like that attention unit in our brains. Jess, a wise one.
Shelley, I have to tell you, first and foremost, that just blew my mind, because that quote that you read in the beginning in your book is actually the desk, the cluttered desk is an Albert Einstein quote. And I literally read that last night. I was going through quotes by Albert Einstein. I'll actually look up the little thing that I went through. And it was like the most popular quotes that have a powerful impact. And that was one of them. And I was just like actually going through my mind, really thinking about, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, what is a clean desk? And I really had a profound moment there. I was like, does that mean there's nothing in my mind? Does that mean there's a lot in my mind? Like, what is a organized desk or a completely clean desk? And I think something that really matters is just realizing that it's not nothing. It's just a matter of organizing everything in a way that it's not stealing your energy, that it's not an energy leak. And one of the biggest things I think for yourself and myself is, in the past, we were very much self-driven individuals. So delegation is sometimes not something that, nope.
I do that well.
Right. And so it's like about realizing that delegation is not a bad thing. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of not being good, but there are certain things that someone else can do in a much timelier fashion. And I think delegation is something really important. And I think of summer because I know for me, there are things that I could do. It would just take me many hours. And I want to hold my little shrine and be like mine. But then I realize, like, it's not time effective. So and one of those things is what you said, is do it and do it immediately. And if there's a resistance against doing it immediately, go automatically to that. Am I going to delegate it? Am I going to delete it? Am I going to delay it? Yes. And that's the thing. It should be a quick process. Like having that checklist for yourself and putting it into the throw it out, keep it, pile, and just knowing that when we learn how to time manage effectively and have our checklist and our do it list, we can save a lot of energy. And I always feel like, and I just have to say this, that when things line up in the universe, you're heading in the right direction, which is why that really astounded me, because I was like, that kind of knocked me on my bum a little when I was like, whoa, I literally was reviewing that quote last night, unbeknownst to you. To only have you read it today on Shelley Show and Tell really shows me that it's an important and profound piece of information that we need to take seriously.
Isn't that interesting that I had 3 different things that I was choosing from to read today, and then ultimately that's the one I chose to read. And then Summer, just this morning, right before I was getting ready to go on here, an email came through about a tracking number. And so I wasn't even thinking about this quote that I was going to read when I delegated it. Summer, can you take care of for this? Within 2 minutes, she's like, done. So she quickly did it. It was something she could quickly get. So I actually did delegate. Oh my gosh.
So you are good at it. And I think that's important, to not keep that label we always had, like, I'm not a morning person, or I'm not good at delegating, because as long as you tell your mind that that's what it is, you're basically creating that binary code for your subconscious and conscious brain to activate your mind. Your brain is a computer. So just remembering, like, you have come a long ways and you are good at delegating, or you are good at deleting.
Yeah, I'm good at deleting. Yeah. So it's interesting. My office is at home, and people will come in my office and I'm like, oh my gosh, your office is so nice and tidy, because I'm thinking about the cluttered desk thing. I don't like a cluttered, but I do write everything on just a piece of scratch paper, and I have piles very neatly put of scratch papers. So that could be considered clutter, but I do go through them like at the end of every day and look at it and go, what do I want to do with this? File this to do tomorrow. No, dump this, done that, it's over with. So that my little piles get less and less by the end of the day. But instead of mine being like all scattered out and everywhere, I neatly put my piles of clutter. It sounds like an oxymoron, right? A neat pile of clutter. So
I did want to say, Shelley, that, like, I was actually talking about this earlier, is that when we have those to-do lists or those goals or those agendas, sometimes people get stressed when they're like, oh, I didn't complete everything, but it makes for the perfect next day action plan. So it's actually a really positive thing when you're like, okay, cross off what I did, put that neat little pile for tomorrow, and now you have a plan for tomorrow. So it's never a disappointment when we don't get to our goal. It's actually really positive, because now you don't even have to think about what needs to be tomorrow's focus. And that's nice. It's a relief.
And do you find at the end of the day, if I still have some things on my list at the end of the day, I'm tired, and I'm not so grounded when I'm tired. So it's better that I actually wait to the next day to do it, because then it's going to take me less time, because then I can be really focused and grounded and I'm not tired. You guys feel the same way about that?
100%.
Yeah, I see a lot of heads shaking. So today we're talking about a new tool that we're bringing aboard. It's actually setting at FedEx. They did this on our last tool as well, setting there for quite a while. And today we're going to talk about the Skin Energizer. Last week we talked about the Skin Enhancer. They did arrive. They did start shipping out last week to everybody that pre-ordered these. Love, love, love this tool. We're going with the theme of the SE. So our skin experts, our spa, right? Skin experts, all our estheticians at Skin Experts are skin experts. So for all our new tools we're bringing in, we're bringing in them with the S and E, the Skin Enhancer, the Skin Energizer. At some point, I'm going to run out of words, starting with E. So if anybody can help me with any of those, that would be great. This is a very simple tool. It's not going to be in green. We chose it in this beautiful blue color. If you go on the website, you'll see it, and it's really an elegant color. This is simply a hot and cold unit. There's a lot of cold units out there. You can see behind me the Starface unit, which is a hot and cold unit. This is a very expensive unit though. And my clients love this. Not everybody can afford that or wants to have that in their office, don't have the space for it. And so I found this really, really good handheld unit. So it goes up to 55 degrees Celsius. And I already got an email from somebody, oh my gosh, Shelley, that's 131 Fahrenheit, that's so hot. I do find that it gets really hot. I will take it like a towel in my hand and just hold it up here for 1 second, and my body temperature actually brings it back down again. And when I start to use it on the client's face, it's just at a perfect temperature and it feels so good. I'm going to tell you my protocol in a minute. The cold goes down to a 0 Celsius, which is about 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, I find I put it on and it's really cold, but the body temperature then heats this up a little bit. So it doesn't stay as stable. This Starface stays very stable with its temperature. But you can't do that with a little handheld, but it still stays cold enough and warm enough to make an absolutely beautiful treatment. I've come up with just a really quick treatment where we use our cool products, of course, and you're going to do a good cleanse. Take your ultrasonic spatula to take that cleanser off. And then I want you to use the enzyme. Take your enzyme off. Get that face nice and clean, and then apply our firming and hydrating mask. And you're going to use the heat over that firming and hydrating mask. Now, at first I was like, oh no, is this going to be too intense? What's going to happen? So I did it on myself first, right? We always guinea pig on ourselves to make sure our faces don't fall off, right? My skin looked absolutely beautiful. The first time I did it, I then rinsed and moved on. And then I got to thinking about it. Wait a minute. Our firming and hydrating mask is one that we say to our clients, leave on at night. So why don't I go ahead and leave that mask on after I've done the heat? Then I apply my concoction or cocktail of our anti-aging moisturizer and our OxyPro serum. And I actually put in a few drops of our glow serum as well. Mix that up really well, apply on the face. And now I'm going to do the cold to finish it off with. And then at the end, just sunscreen. And that's just a really quick, somebody wants to, oh, I'm going to a party tonight. I want to look really good. I want to be glowing, really quick treatment. The client that I did this on was just like blown away with what her skin looked like in that quick, 20-minute, 22-minute treatment. So I started just adding this into almost all the treatments I do, just even if it's just the heat or it's just the cold. It's the sensation that they like, right? Especially now in the middle of winter, they love that little bit of heat on their skin. The cold, not so much right now, but during the summer, that's going to be fabulous. Think of the cold after you do extractions to take that inflammation down. After you do a lip wax or an eyebrow wax, they're going to love you for calming down that feeling after they've been waxed. Or just at the end of the treatment, just to close those pores back up again. So there's a lot you can do with this great little handheld unit. Very simple. I love that now everything we're getting is cordless. I remember back in the day, right? Cords everywhere in our treatment rooms, and it was so hard. So I love this cordless. So that's really what there is to it, but I felt like there's just a need for this in our treatment room. Now, I know my success team has not got their hands on this yet because we haven't gotten them in, and I know they're all going, when do I get mine? When do I get mine? But any thoughts come up as I'm telling you, ways that I would like to use it? Maybe some other ways I haven't thought about yet. Jess, Carrie, Summer.
I can say that I have been getting just a lot of feedback about how excited everybody is about having such an affordable tool, because everybody wants some type of cold therapy, and I do have a few clients who have been using like their icy globes and whatever. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of individuals, and maybe you're one of them, who lives in a place where it's a little more smaller treatment room spaces, and they don't even have freezers or refrigeration systems. So this is just a really great option to have the ability to provide your client with cold therapy or heat therapy without having to have all of that space or the expense of having a freezer or those types of things. And I think that's really beautiful. I do think that it's a really great thing to do after, doing an eye treatment for if your lashes or if your brows or those. So it brings that high-tech component into your treatment room. If maybe your specialization isn't facial, same with people who have more than one modality, massage, right? It brings in some like option for lymphatic, sort of calming and cooling and relaxation and de-stressing. So I think it's just about thinking about how expansive such a small tool can be, toy, as Shelley would say, to really bringing your client more of a sensory experience. And really, that has such an impact on the energy and the mood when we're using those different sensories.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you just brought to my mind, I could even see, you know, somebody's laying there and you're just, instead of doing a full neck and shoulder massage, just using the heat on the back of their neck and their shoulders. How nice that would be. So many different. Summer, you always have such incredible thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, my favorite thing about heat and cold therapy is a lot of the time when we're kind of looking for a treatment, we want to use equipment that's going to give an elongated result, right? Something that's going to provide results 2, 3, 4, 7 days after they're with us in the treatment room. And hot and cold therapy is a really great way to do that, because that is the benefits of the hot and cold are going to extend out past just that 5-minute treatment time. And the more you do it, the better your results are going to be.
Definitely. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Carrie, anything from you? Just excited to get it, right?
Yeah, I just think the simple use of like post waxing. I used to do so much waxing in my treatment room, and maybe over the face just to bring, you know, the redness down a little bit, or even on the body. I think it's a great size tool. Just kind of elevates doing something after the waxing and helps bring down the redness.
Yeah, I actually just bikini waxing, right? This is a good enough size that you could even do that. Wouldn't they love you for that?
You could even create an entire protocol over, or, you know, around like a facial, like for that area. They have facial protocols for that area. And especially if you've got clients that struggle with ingrowns or, you know, things like that, that hot setting, that cool setting, calming that inflammation, keeping that hair follicle happy and soft. I mean, yeah, many, many, many ways that you could use this tool.
Well, I'm hoping that FedEx lets these go. Jess, did you have one other thing? I saw you kind of like.
Yeah, I did. I also I know that we're always focused on skincare, but I do want to mention the powerful impact of using hot and cold on the hormones and just overall mental health. It has a really positive impact on the way that our body and our vascular system responds, and it can have a really positive impact on mood as well. To be using heat and cold therapy, they use it a lot in all sorts of different realms. So you're really getting a lot more benefit than just what you're seeing. But I love what Summer said too, things that last, that our clients are always asking us, how long is that going to last? So I think that's a really valid point too.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Well, another Monday come and gone, right? At least Monday morning. I want everyone to just go out and make this the best day ever. And we'll see you next week. Bye.